Most aircraft engine problems don't appear out of nowhere. In many cases, the warning signs are there weeks, months or even years before the issue becomes serious. The problem is that most aircraft owners never see them. Take exhaust valve failures as an example. A failing exhaust valve will often produce characteristic oscillations in exhaust gas temperatures. The pilot won't notice anything unusual in flight. The engine may appear to run perfectly normal. Yet, a proper engine data analysis can identify the developing problem long before it becomes an operational issue. The suspected cylinder can then be inspected with a borescope, the diagnosis confirmed, and corrective action taken before a failure occurs. Another example is a gradual change in fuel flow. Because these changes usually develop slowly over time, many pilots simply adapt to the new normal. The corresponding changes in exhaust gas temperatures and cylinder head temperatures become part of everyday operation and eventually go unnoticed. Human beings are remarkably poor at recognizing gradual change. We become accustomed to it. Engine data analysis does not. This is one of the fundamental reasons why engine condition monitoring is so powerful. It identifies trends that owners, pilots and maintenance providers fail to see. It allows developing issues to be detected before they become expensive, disruptive or dangerous. At Guest Aeronautics we have an internal slogan that I firmly believe in. Aircraft ownership without engine intelligence is guesswork. And that's exactly what I want to talk about today. Most pilot owners are never taught how to monitor engine health properly. Instead, they are taught that safety and airworthiness comes down to following the maintenance program and complying with the manufacturer's requirements. Now, don't get me wrong, compliance is important, but compliance alone does not mean you understand the actual condition of your engine. Many owners also believe that more maintenance automatically means more safety, while on-condition maintenance is somehow risky or irresponsible. The reality is that neither position takes the actual condition, operation and maintenance history of the engine into account. If you look at accident statistics, many engine-related problems occur following maintenance events. Others result from operational practices, installation issues or design characteristics. We can't change the engine design and we often have limited influence over installation decisions. What we can do is monitor and manage maintenance and operational factors. More importantly, we can collect evidence. And that evidence is what engine condition monitoring provides. One reason many owners feel uncertain about engine health is that they have never been introduced to engine condition monitoring in the first place. Instead, they rely on rules of thumb, hangar talk, and information that may have been outdated for decades. I was reminded of this during a conversation with an aircraft owner some time ago. He held multiple academic degrees in a technical field, including a PhD, and was obviously a very intelligent individual. Yet he still approached aircraft ownership through the default path rather than like a professional operator. His aircraft only had analog engine instruments installed, one exhaust gas temperature gauge and one cylinder head temperature gauge. He didn't know the engine limits. He didn't use proper leaning techniques. Instead, he routinely added extra fuel to protect the valve because that was what he had been taught. During the same conversation, he mentioned that he had previously lost another aircraft in the ocean following a catastrophic engine failure. The suspected cause was sticky valves or valve head separation. Despite that experience, he still had no meaningful way of monitoring engine health and no systematic approach to understanding what was happening inside the engine. And this is more common than many people realize. Without engine condition monitoring, owners are often forced to rely on assumptions, habits and opinions. They are effectively flying blind when it comes to engine health. Now, many owners assume that annual inspections, airworthiness reviews or condition inspections solve this problem. They don't. These inspections are legally required, but they are snapshots in time. They tell you what the aircraft looked like on the day of inspection. They don't tell you how the engine has been performing over the previous year, and they don't reveal developing trends. A good example is the differential compression test. A poor result can sometimes be caused by something as simple as a small deposit on a valve seat, even though the cylinder may still be perfectly serviceable. Without additional information, owners often agree to expensive repairs or overhauls simply because they lack context. Engine condition monitoring provides that context. The same applies to maintenance providers. Maintenance jobs are optimized to maintain and repair aircraft. There are also businesses that must manage workload, revenue and liability. That's not criticism, it's a simply reality. Ultimately, the responsibility for making aircraft ownership work belongs to the owner. If you want to operate the aircraft professionally, you need your own system. And that's where engine condition monitoring comes in. I often describe it as the aircraft's health dashboard. Like any dashboard, its purpose is to help you answer a few critical questions. To answer those questions properly, engine condition monitoring relies on 3 pillars. The first is engine data analysis. Displaying, recording and analyzing engine data is one of the most powerful tools available to aircraft owners. It can identify ignition issues, fuel system problems, induction leaks, abnormal temperatures and even early signs of exhaust valve problems. In many ways, engine data analysis is similar to health monitoring devices many people use today. The device continuously collects data and identifies trends that would otherwise go unnoticed. Engine monitors and engine data analysis perform the same function for aircraft engines. The second pillar is oil, filter and particle analysis. While engine data tells you how the engine is behaving, oil analysis can tell you what is happening internally. It can reveal abnormal wear, corrosion, contamination and other developing issues long before they become operational problems. I often compare oil analysis to blood work. A single blood test can provide useful information, but the real value comes from collecting samples consistently and monitoring changes over time. Trends often reveal developing issues long before obvious symptoms appear. The third pillar is borescope inspections. Whenever a spark plug is removed, you have an opportunity to inspect the combustion chamber, valves, cylinder walls and piston crown. Unlike engine data or oil analysis, a borescope allows you to see the condition directly. In that sense, a borescope inspection is similar to a medical examination or imaging procedure. The health tracker provides trends, the bloodworks provides internal indicators and the borescope allows you to look directly at the component in question and assess its condition with your own eyes. None of these tools work best in isolation. Engine data analysis, oil analysis and borescope inspections each answer different questions. Sometimes they identify the same problem at different stages. Sometimes one method identifies an issue that the others don't. The value comes from combining all 3 sources of information. Engine condition monitoring is not about finding failures after they happen. It's about identifying trends early enough that failures never occur in the first place. The good news is that implementing a practical engine condition monitoring system is not complicated. Depending on the aircraft, there may be some initial investment, particularly if an engine monitor needs to be installed. But the long-term benefits generally outweigh the cost many times over. You need the ability to record key engine parameters. You need a process for analyzing engine data. You need routine oil analysis at every oil change. And you need standardized borescope inspections. Most importantly, all of these activities need to become part of a repeatable ownership system rather than occasional maintenance tasks. At this point, some owners start worrying that this means becoming an aircraft engineer. It doesn't. You don't need to interpret every chart, understand every wear metal trend, or become an expert in borescope image analysis. What you need is a system. The purpose of engine condition monitoring is not to replace maintenance professionals. It is to provide better information so that better decisions can be made. And that brings me to what I believe is the real value of engine condition monitoring. Many people think it is simply another maintenance tool. I think that misses the bigger picture. The real value is that it helps you make better decisions throughout the entire ownership journey. Without meaningful data, aircraft ownership often becomes an exercise in reacting to events. With meaningful data, you gain context. You can evaluate recommendations more effectively. You can identify developing problems before they become major repairs. You can assess operational practices based on evidence rather than folklore. Most importantly, you can participate actively in the decision-making process instead of simply reacting to whatever happens next. In that sense, engine condition monitoring is ultimately a decision support system rather than a maintenance activity. And if your goal is to become an informed aircraft owner, and operate the aircraft like a professional, it is one of the most valuable systems you can implement. If you are serious about becoming a more informed aircraft owner, one of the best investments you can make is learning how to build systems around your aircraft ownership. That's exactly why we run our aviation workshops. We cover topics such as engine condition monitoring, aircraft maintenance, reliability-centered maintenance, aircraft ownership systems, and how to make better operational, financial, and maintenance decisions as a pilot owner. The goal is not to turn you into an aircraft engineer. The goal is to help you understand what is happening with your aircraft, ask better questions, and make informed, evidence-based decisions. If that sounds interesting, check out our workshop linked below in the description. I'd love to see you there. Remember, the goal is to become an informed aircraft owner. See you in the next one.